What's going on, guys? Thanks for coming back to my channel. I'm going to review a trade that I did on, I believe it was on the 19th. So it was on this day right here. Yep, the 19th, which was yesterday. And I'm going to talk about why I traded it, what got me interested in it, and what my plan was. And so to go over that, if you go into, let's go in, this is today, so we'll talk about these 2 days. So the previous day, it actually had a big spike. You'll see right here, it had a big spike up from $6 all the way up to $9. So when I saw that, and it's the second green day, I'm looking for, usually the third green day, it's seldom to come by. So this play wasn't like a huge hit play on my radar, but it was the only play out of all the stocks I was watching that day that fit the criteria that I like to trade. But I knew that because it wasn't like a superb like A+ setup, I wasn't going to trade it very aggressively, and I was gonna take that in account before I actually put the trade on and made sure that I took the right size as well. Now that being said, my goal was to short it, and when it closed the previous day, right here it closed at 863 on the morning. We got a gap down pre-market, and it came all the way down to $8, which got me interested in it. And even though it came all the way down to $8 here, you can see there's some support here at 8, which obviously now you can see in hindsight, it bounces right off that level twice actually, once here and then the second time. So when at the market open, I actually shorted it as soon as we got a spike right around here at 8. I think I got in at 850. 853. I was risking like 10 cents a share, and as soon as I got in, I had to get out. And I'm going to show you, let's see if we can go, yeah, here we go, 1 minute chart. So I got in on this green candle at 850, and got out like quarter size for a quick profit when it came back down, because I knew that it wasn't a perfect setup, and part of me wanted to risk in the 80s, and I'll show you why I wanted to risk in the 80s. Because if you look here, this is where it topped out at, right here in the 75 level. So I was like, okay, it might spike up to the 75 level. If it has trouble up there, then maybe I'll reshort it. And that's initially where I was like, maybe I'll start my short there if it doesn't gap down big. I thought it gapped down big enough. It opened up at 833, came all the way down to 820, and then spiked. So I thought, okay, it's spiking from 820 all the way up to 850, 860. Do I think it's going to bust through? And I did not think it would. So my risk at the time was 863, which was the previous close, which is, in other words, going from red to green. So I took it off. I took some profits here when it came down quarter size off. And then when it bust through right here on this candle, it barely bust through. I cut it. I didn't want to wait for it. I didn't want to hope that it was going to come back down. It came back down for a minute and hovered below that level, which for some people can be frustrating. But you got to stick with your plan, because in the long run, if you hold and hope, then this can keep going up like it did. Yes, it did fade in the end, but sometimes you can be in a bad habit and you hold and you hope and you're holding forever and you're down and you're down more and more and more. So you cut the loss as soon as it hits your risk, which in this case I did. Now, because I did that, it set me up for a better opportunity. Because when this spiked to 881 and then immediately held under 875, and then on the second spike, it topped out at 877, rejected, went red again, and then recovered. It's choppy right here. It doesn't know what it wants to do. It doesn't know if it wants to go green, if it wants to go red. And so people who are in this are just frustrated. I mean, if I was still short, I would be frustrated, right? I'm like, man, is this going to go up? Is this going to go down? But when we got this other spike here in the 870s, and then failed and went red again, and when we broke this level here at 853, creating another low, I was super interested and I was ready to get in the stock. And I actually got in, I believe, let me zoom out here. Yep. I didn't even get in on this drop here. So it came red and I missed this. And I was like, oh great, I missed a great opportunity. Came all the way down to 835. I was right. What if I would have held it? But you can't think that way. You can't let that get in your mind. and you can't chase it. Because if you just short it saying, oh man, I missed it, let me just short here, like an 840s, 830s, and then it spikes again, you're going to get chickened out. You're going to get pushed out, you're already down again, you're going to get frustrated. Okay, so this stock is choppy. Because it's choppy, I knew that, especially after the first trade, and then seeing it confused on if it wants to go green, if it wants to go red. Because that was happening, I made sure to wait for it to come to me. So if it didn't bounce back up, I wouldn't have been in the play. But it did bounce. It actually went up to here, to the 860s, and I reshorted it at 864. So I got a better entry, and I'm shorting it in a bounce instead of shorting into weakness. And I was risking at the time, I believe I was risking the 880s. I believe so. I believe it was the 880s because that was where it failed to spike, right? Because of that, at that moment, I was risking I was basically risking 15 cents a share. So that being said, I took a size proportion to that risk level, came back down here to 850, bounced back up, and then crashed. And I say crashed, but it came all the way back down to 830s. I took profits all around here, and then took some more profits actually in the 818s. And let's zoom out right here. And then I actually took the remaining of my profits right here in the 816s. So at the end of the day, it ended up being an overall profitable trade. The whole reason why I traded it though, and actually why I covered the rest of my shares down here in the 816s, is because we came down to 8 again where support was, and it made a higher low right here and started to break out again. So I just covered it and said, you know what, I'm gonna take my profits. This is a choppy stock, it could come back up, and that's what it did. It came all the way back up to 874. So people were frustrated in the stock. So the whole purpose of this trade and the whole basis of this is I'm looking at it because it spiked big for 2 days, and the third day is normally not as strong, right? And it gapped down. So I like a gap down. It's a shift in trend. It's opening up red instead of green, right? So people are already underwater. But what's good is that I cut the loss. And what's also good is I stayed watching the stock because it reset up. Because after we had this huge panic, people are all right here. Look at all this volume. All these people now are underwater. So when it comes up, they're just trying to break even. They're trying to get out. And that's what was happening. They were getting out, and every time it popped up, it didn't pop out as high. It stopped out here at 870. Popped up again, 865. Popped up again, 857. Popped up again, 837. So every time it's lower and lower, it's because these people are panicking and they want to break even. Oh no, I'm not breaking even this time. Let me get out a little sooner because last time it didn't come up as high as I thought. So each time they're getting out sooner and sooner, and that's creating that downtrend. So that was the reason for the trade. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. If you have questions, definitely let me know. And thanks for watching. And as I mentioned, just put a comment below, put a thumbs up if you like this video, and make sure that you mention something that's been helping you trade and get better, because someone else could read that comment and you could help them. So you guys take care, and thanks for watching.